Hey guys, I hope everyone's good. I got chapter 4, which is conducting, practicing, and deepening lessons. This is basically just having kids dive deeper into what you're teaching them. Like, if you're teaching them addition, just kind of learning how it works with multiplication and learning the differences between those two and stuff like that. The lower level grades, it'll look like knowing higher level terminology like congruent and similarity and angle measurement and stuff like that, like more complex words that they're not really used to seeing. And at a high grade level, it would be like organizing different types of concepts. So let's say you're doing shapes and you're trying to do a polygon and you need to know all the details behind a polygon and how many sides and edges and stuff it has, and you got to know the different ones for like rectangles and trapezoids and stuff like that, the details about them. The first bullet point, using structured practice sessions. This is basically having the teacher provide a clear demonstration of what she wants the students to do and stuff like that. Just having like just real formal practice sessions and what she wants them to do. The other one was examining similarities and differences, and this is examining how things are alike and not alike. Like the concepts of supply and demand, knowing what's different and not different about them. You can also look at the similarities between multi-column subtraction and multi-column addition. Say for instance, if you teach one week and then teach the other the next week, you can have them see like what's similar and what's different about it. The other one was examining errors in reasoning. This is having students think about what they've done wrong or how they did it wrong, and also looking at other people's work and see how they did it wrong or if they did it right, and comparing their answers and terminologies for things. This will be like a peer check that you did in school. Like you check somebody else's paper and kind of wrote down if they forgot a noun or they need a preposition or something. And also self-check, even though like students might erase their answer to seem like they got it right, they'll also in that time being be seeing how they got it wrong, even though they're changing their answer, but they're still knowing how they got it wrong and seeing they got it wrong. So the strategies I chose were modeling and T-charts. Modeling is basically representing any skill, strategy, or process to the students, and it's having the teacher model the strategy, skill, or process first, and then walking them like through the steps that it needs right there in front of them and thinking aloud as she does it. So if you're up at the board, like I said, like in my Field 2 class, I would do writing a letter, the steps for writing a letter. So I would have my manila sheet of paper, and then I would write my letter right there in front of them, and we'd label it together, all the different parts of the letter. The other one is T-charts, and since I'm at Smith in a second grade classroom, they are learning about fiction and nonfiction books, so I would probably use this strategy for that and just comparing nonfiction and fiction books. We could put like different fiction books and different nonfiction books and then dive deeper into those books and see what is exactly different about them. One's a fairy tale and one's realistic, and just having them get that visual understanding of what they're supposed to decide for, what goes underneath those columns for their strategies. When examining their eras, students will find fault to their own work, and maybe they'll realize it before you do, or maybe after they turn it in, and they'll look at it and at somebody else's paper and be like, oh, maybe I should have done this. And remember those types of things. And that's basically what chapter 4 was about, just having students dive deeper into your lessons. And that's it.